everyone. So yes, actually, I'm going to give an update. I am actually a CAMS 240 service coordinator. So most of you may not be familiar yet with this number. So CAMS 240 stands for regional, or in other words, European air quality products. So this service is co-led by Météo France and Ineris, and involves a very large team. I believe this is the biggest team of the whole CAMS services, with most of 80 people involved, so that's huge. Sorry, that was not the right one. The green one, okay. The green one. Yes, thank you, sorry. I will start with giving you an overview of what European air quality production is in CAMS 2 scope. So for those of you who are familiar with the previous CAMS 0.1 regional service, you will not be surprised because CAMS 240 is an enhanced continuation of CAMS 50, the previous regional service. So it's still a Europe-wide operational air quality service with 9, and careful teasing here, very soon 11, operational models and an ensemble. So just to be clear, yes, okay. Here we have state-of-the-art air quality modeling teams using the very same external forcing data and producing 2 different streams. First, what we call the NRT for near real-time forecast and analysis, which are daily products and that are combined by Météo France, and ensemble reanalysis that are produced by Ineris in an annual way. So CAMS 240 is an enhanced continuity of a robust service, and we have a routine production with 2 annual upgrades, 2 improvements per year. And it has to be underlined that there is a change of scope between CAMS 50 and CAMS 240 with evaluations that have been shifted to CAMS 283, as you probably know, not yet. Okay. So I would like to make a focus on the improvements that we are expecting in CAMS 240. First of all, as I just said, we are welcoming 2 new regional systems in the operational ensemble as far as from next week. And we are glad to welcome Mini and Monarch model from Enea and BSC, will join our regional operational system next week. So that's really good because now, as you can see here, we have a good representation, a good, yes, a spatial representation of all the members included in our CAMS 240 production. Also, what is important to underline is the emphasis that we put on development. First, individual model development. That means that our regional system will improve their model up to 7 upgrades over the whole period of the CAMS 240 projects for 42 months. And that kind of developments are what we call short-term development, below 1 year, and that consists mainly into adapting input data streams, for example, modifying the emissions from CAMS 261, modifying the meteorological forcing and the chemical boundary condition. Also, main improvements are expected from new model output with the addition of vertical levels, for example, or addition of some species. Also, we plan to consolidate pollen species that are already included in our CAMS service, but we will consolidate the production. That was for the individual model development. We are also dealing with centralized development, and we plan to add 2 different new products. First of all, some model output statistic at station, expected in April 2023, and then an optimized ensemble. That means that instead of using the median that we use so far to calculate the ensemble, we will use a new method, which is a fuse calculation method that has been specified in the previous CAMS 63 project. So this is expected in April 2024. Also, a main improvement in CAMS 240 is the introduction of a long-term scientific R&D component. We have a new work package in our service architecture, and the idea here is to develop, to conduct 3 studies, to develop some method and tools on 3 different topics: deposition, data assimilations, and forecast initializations. Well, this is really short because we only have 10 minutes, but there's lots to say. But so this is just important that you have this in mind. Okay, now we wanted to focus a little bit on the different challenges that we have to face in CAMS 240, because they are numerous. First of all, we really embrace a complex service. As you can imagine, dealing with 11 regional air quality systems is a big challenge because we have to coordinate them. First, what we have decided to help us to do so that is that we have delegate all the different leading of the task and activities to the experts themselves. So we have, for example, a scientific manager that you all know, Augustin, and we also have a production manager for reanalysis, Frédéric, for production, Etienne, and a pollen advisor, Michael. So we have a lot of different people, experts, involved in their activity. So that was the first part. Second important issue is that actually, if we have 11 models to coordinate, and if you have to deal with new developments with 11 models, you have to get the specification from the output, I mean, really in advance. It is very important to put some strict constraints if we really want to have a robust service. So that's important as well. And we have developed also new monitoring dashboard to help us follow up the production. And last, this is also a big deal to make common decision, to give guidance and to try to homogenate. So that's also a big challenge that we are facing in CAMS 240. So I would say that the 3 keywords would be that we try to find the right balance between, at the same time, an operational, innovative, and user-oriented service. That is also very important. Another main challenge is that we would like to foster collaboration. We have to actually foster collaboration in the CAMS sphere. As you know, we have numerous interactions with ECMWF and also with all, I mean, maybe not all, but a lot of other CAMS services, such as the global aerosol gas development, the emissions, the policy support, the regional air quality control. So we have to be aware, we have to be here, we have to attend different meetings. We also want to keep at the forefront of state-of-the-art, and we contribute to multimodal exercise, as I think Augustin already mentioned this morning. And also something that was important is that sometimes, since we are at the same time an operational service and also an innovative development service, we have to take some time to talk, I mean, to let the different modeling team exchange with on scientific team. And this is why now in CAMS 240, we plan to have 2 thematic webinars a year with the whole entire CAMS 240 teams and as well with the CAMS management. So this year we had voted and we wanted to have a discussion on the natural emissions, so that was done at the GA and this morning. Next webinar will be in autumn regarding the atmospheric dynamics. Okay, so my very last slide is just to maybe just focus on 2022, outlook and way forward. So just to give you an idea, concrete idea of what we have done so far and what we are going to perform in the next months. So first, here, well, maybe I'm just explaining this one. So here you can see that we have near real-time production with usually 2 upgrades per year, but this year we have a third one with the addition of the 2 new model Monarch and Mini. So we performed a first upgrade in March with the addition of 2 vertical levels and the modification of the emissions. And next upgrade then, after the addition of Monarch and Mini in June, will be in November. And this is the one we are preparing now in our development work package. It will consist in adding formaldehyde and glyoxal parameters using CAMS tempo and consolidate pollen. We are also working in short-term development on what I told before, the MOS forecast and the ensemble computation fuse method. And to conclude, for the reanalysis production, so we have 2 kinds of production. First one, the interim reanalysis that are based on interim observation provided by the EEA. So this has just been provided, and we are discussing with the ADS to make them available to the users. And next production will be the validated reanalysis produced using the validated observation, and we are just starting the work, actually. Just a word on the scientific progress on the long term. We have started the satellite data simulation activities, and we also had the kickoff meeting for the deposition activities. I think this is all. So really, my last slide is important. It's just to thank all the participants. I don't want to mention anyone because I'm afraid of missing someone, but all the involved teams, sorry, were there. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gael. Any question? Yes, a couple.
Thank you for this interesting talk you gave. You mentioned that there's a scientific effort to improve the deposition. Is there also a plan to provide deposition products, and would you also pursue an ensemble approach for that?
Okay. So I think that our scientific manager will be happy to answer. No, actually, this work package, specific work package about long-term projects does not plan to deliver any new operational projects within this contract. This is just development, and then we will see if in a further contract it's useful, or we will see. But it's not planned to make something available right now. But maybe, well, Augustin, you can comment on if you, but well. It's really long-term development, but not achievement in this contract.
Yeah, I would just confirm that it's for model development to improve the performances of the model, but of course we are interested in the future to also use that for impact modeling. There are several regional models who have been working for decades on the effect of atmospheric deposition on ecosystem, namely all the models involved in the LERTAP convention, and it would be a natural follow-up also to continue in that direction, because there's a lot of interest for acidifying, eutrophying, and ozone deposition on ecosystem and agrosystem. So it's huge impacts that are expected in that direction, I think.
Thank you. Leonora.
One additional question. Thank you, Gael, for an interesting talk. And it was about, it's very nice to see 11 groups in the ensemble. I wonder, I mean, you talk about how difficult it was to manage it, but it's not that only. What is the optimal number of models in the ensemble? Because we're always talking about CAMS and the capabilities of the ensemble. How much are we going to expand this, and what is the optimal part? Do we really get better because we get more people or more models there? So it's, I know it's not a nice question, but please. But we are all together, huh? So that's okay. So how do you think about it? How do you evaluate it? I know there's been some analysis of the ensemble. So what is the thoughts there?
So that's an interesting question. Well, I think there's different point of view. First, one of the easy answer can be provided by the CAMS management also. Then by CAMS 83 that will evaluate the project. But so far, what is really important is also to have, well, the 11 models are useful also because, as I explained, they are really geographically we spread, I don't know. And so we can imagine, I'm not sure how to explain that, but no, but that's good to have also different, well, as Augustin mentioned this morning, we have a lot of different modeling models with their own, well, they have the same forcing, of course, but they have their own physical parameterization, and that's important. So we know why it's important to have different models. Now, between 10, 11, or 12, this is another topic. Maybe Vincent-Henri, you want to comment, because this is, well, somewhat a requirement from the IT team.
Yes, I think, first of all, I can reassure you there are not that many more original modeling systems in Europe. And what we aim in CAMS, regardless of the output, is to involve in this team all the groups that are developing a model themselves. So it's not about taking a model from the US and adapting it. There are many, many more groups. But in terms of having a genuine model which is developed in Europe by a team that is large enough to do things other than CAMS. So it's an idea of having this Premier League of modeling so that there is a leverage effect, and also we make sure that the countries that have the capacity to contribute to the reporting, etc., they are also involved in CAMS so that they understand what are the products and they are part of it. So that's the answer about the number. So I think by construction it stops there, and there was no more slots for that. Then there is a practical element, which is when there was 7 systems in the ensemble, there were quite a number of times where there were less than 5, or so the ensemble was a bit jumpy for that, or there were days where there could have been issues. So when you start from 11, even if you drop 2, you still have 9, which is a pretty decent number. So that's the thing. Then the last thing is the quality of the output, which is incremental, of course. You put 1, 2 model, you have a big bang, and then you add the third, the fourth, it's less. So there was a study as part of CAMS 63 looking at that. So it's true. Then there is also literature about the fact that it's not necessarily the best model that bring most. So if you have models that are very similar, that are in the mix, having the 2 is not necessarily a benefit. So you may benefit in having a model which is maybe a bit less performing on average, but will be performing on cases where the rest is not performing. So and this depends on seasons, this depends on the northern region. So in practice, I don't think we would benefit a lot by reducing the group to, instead of 11, to, I don't know, the 6 best or the 7 best, because then we will lose the capacity to have all the countries engaged. We would lose on the operational capability, and we wouldn't, well, basically we wouldn't degrade the results. And I don't think that this would be a major cost saving, so that it would really increase the flow of money going to the remaining 6 systems. So I think it's a combination of practical, political, strategic elements, and in the end, I'm really amazed that we can do, Météo France can do a system with 9 systems and soon 11 in operational condition. We prove that. The rest of the world is looking at that and looking at how we do. And I think because of all these properties, we're pretty good. And yes, it will not grow much further because there are not that many more groups in Europe that could do that.
Yeah.
So it was a bit long.
And actually, just to conclude, the new modeling team, well, the Monarch and Mini model, they are really proved that they are also very performing models, so that's really great. Yeah. You wanted to add something before?
No.
Okay, that's thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Another question. Yeah, maybe a quick one. Okay, it's coming from the back. No, wait.
Hopefully, yes, a quick question. It's great to see that the 2021 interim data set has been delivered, and that's great. As far as I understand it, the most recently available data set on the website is the 2018 data set. Are there any plans to make the 2019 and 2020 data available?
Yeah, sure. The data is already ready. We just have to work with the ADS team, so that's in the very final stage. So there are just adjustments to make in order that they are becoming available. So I'm pretty sure Mia and Luke can answer this precisely, but it's in the very, very next weeks, I would say it will be okay.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.